Oh dear, it's just down to Craig and Dave, and now it's just Dave. Oh, Dave. It's okay. Dave believes coffee's better than tea, so he will not be missed. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Spiffing Brit, and today we're playing Total War Rome Remastered. That's right, we're back. Last time we played this game, we managed to beat the entire thing in just, I think, 15 turns. Now, today we're going to focus on something entirely different. We're going to show off an absolutely amazing strategy in Rome Total War that is going to allow you to perfectly balance the AI and create literal hell for them. How are we going to do it? Well, we're going to use this era's equivalent of the attack helicopter by using a unit that has insane accuracy, insane range, but most importantly is completely and utterly unreachable, meaning it is impossible to kill. Now, this unit existed in the original Rome Total War, however, in the original game, due to how bad the AI pathfinding was, it wasn't a very useful unit. However, now that the pathfinding issues are in comparison absolutely non-existent, we're going to be using this insane strategy and unleashing its true potential. As ladies and gentlemen, we're starting a brand new campaign as none other than the lovely horse lords of the Scythians. I know it's going to be amazing. Apparently this faction difficulty is hard. This is a lie. This is going to be an absolute walk in the park. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're sat back, relaxed, you have a nice warm cup of tea in front of you as we're about to perfectly balance Rome Total War Remaster. And hey, if you're feeling especially fantastic, you can even like this video. Now the thing is, you have to imagine that in most modern strategy games, there are many factions that have a whole bunch of units, and all of those units have strengths and weaknesses. Modern strategy games might say have heavily armored tanks that are great at dealing with infantry. However, when faced up against, say, long-ranged artillery bombardments, they're not so strong. Most strategy games go for the rock, paper, scissors strategy, where every unit is strong to one unit and weak to another type of unit. To an extent, that exists in Rome Total War. Spears are good at dealing with horses, but horses are good at dealing with infantry, and infantry is good at dealing with spears, and archers are good at just ruining everyone's day, excluding horses because horses absolutely shred archers. But what if you combine the two most powerful types of unit into this game onto one very speedy boy? Well, that's what the people of Scythia have done, ladies and gentlemen, as their entire army is pretty much made up of only ranged units. Sure, they have access to these guys here, the Archer Warband, an 80-strong group of boys who cost 170 gold per turn. They're terrible at fighting in melee, but hey, they've got really strong missile attack and a decent range. But why have yourself an Archer Warband when instead you can have Scythian Horse Archers, ladies and gentlemen? Scythian Horse Archers are exactly the same except for one very important difference. They're on a horse which is exceedingly speedy, and they cost hardly any gold to maintain. Yes, there's less of them, but it doesn't matter. Also, because we're playing with arcade battles, the decrease in ammunition makes no difference. And the reason we're playing with arcade battles is just to showcase how stupidly overpowered this faction is. Now the thing is, the entire Scythian roster is basically just horsemen. It's variations of different types of horses, a couple of archers, and then just either peasants or some dude holding an axe. Basically meaning, if you were to face up against an entire Roman army in one-on-one combat, you're going to lose no matter what. However, Scythians don't have to play by the rules because their entire army is designed on a concept of memes, where you take the classical Roman history playbook, yeet it out of the window, and just take a look at 700-mile-an-hour horses plinking arrows into very slow-moving infantry. It's absolutely incredible. Now, we need to get our economy up and running very quickly, but more importantly, our entire empire needs roads, because if you can believe it, there's no roads in this land. We didn't have time to build any, apparently. We are very uncivilized barbarians, but hey, that's fine. We've got to get the roads built, and that should get our economy up and running. At the same time, I'm going to start moving units from across the empire over to our main capital area. Our focus as an empire is going to be entirely on what is to the west of us. Over here we have a whole bunch of Romans messing about in Italy. Over here we have some Britannic boys on chariots. We have some Germanic berserkers. We have whatever the Dacians are. And if you go all the way over here, you have the Frenchies as well as the Spaniards. When it comes to our actual threats in this game, technically the biggest threat that we're ever meant to face are the Greek cities down here. The reasoning is simple. The Greeks are designed to perfectly fight cavalry. They have gigantic long spears. However, those gigantic long spears move at the same pace as a snail which is heavily inebriated, basically meaning that they can be absolutely smashed. Anyway, I'm going to end our first turn, and hopefully, if I can get myself a diplomat, we should be able to pull off our money maneuver to just completely fix our economy. Oh my goodness. So Thrace, our first natural enemies, start off the game with two settlements, Campus Getia here and then a capital building down here. And naturally they've decided to basically abandon their city. They've left only the fact faction heir inside there, and consequently the entire city is rioting. Instead, they've moved all of their defending forces outside of the city. Oh my goodness, what are they doing? Well, I was considering to try and pull off a money-making maneuver on them, but instead I think we actually have a better plan for our diplomat. We're going to go over and meet the Dacians, but seeing as they've left their entire army outside of the city, I think it's time for our lovely general to initiate a welcome maneuver. Oh my goodness, are we out of moves? Oh, we are just out of moves? Seriously? Oh god. Well, luckily in this one region there's Thracian mercenaries, because we're going to need to hire them, because these Thracian mercenaries have to push a battering ram, because none of these people can. But yes, the Thracian army is actually relatively weak. They've got one unit of militia hoplites, some unarmored boys, and yeah, it should just be a complete and utter walk in the park. Oh, they haven't actually gone back into the city. The army's just running off. Okay, what, they're just leaving the city with only one militia cavalry in the faction heir? Well, looks like this city's going to die. Now, we're only going to be able to build one battering ram, but that's fine, because we only have one unit that can push a battering ram. And we'll also bring over our reinforcement army, and heck, we have actually a bit of money. So maybe we start investing in our economy. Trust me, we're going to need it. Now, the thing is, a lot of our settlements are being garrisoned by archer warbands here, and the thing is, this settlement up here of Campus Samarte is never going to be attacked. No one in their right mind is going to attack this garbage province that makes basically no money. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to get rid of the garrisoning archer warbands. We don't actually need them, and instead we're slowly going to swap them out over time for these barbarian peasants. They only cost 100 per turn to upkeep, and they can maintain a greater public order at a much cheaper cost. Anyway, next turn we're going to attack this settlement. I'm actually going to send one of my archer units back to Campus Scythia just to deal with any public order problems, and I think it's time for us to attack this city. They only have 2 units defending it, but it's a perfect time to demonstrate our abilities, especially as we can choose to fight a night battle, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes. Now we're going to be demonstrating exactly why horse archers are completely and utterly stupid, as in today's battle I'm pretty sure we should be able to manage 0 casualties. Now this is a lightly defended settlement, basically meaning we can just waltz up to the main gate and take it. Right, we're starting to break down the front gate. There we go, that was nice and easy. That basically means our mercenaries have done their entire job, so we can just walk them back, because I mean, it's not like we're going to actually use lightly armored men who look like goblins and gnomes to actually fight our battles. I mean, seriously, if you looked at the Thracian mercenaries, I mean, they look brilliant, but they also look like a garden gnome wearing a leopard skirt, because that's kind of exactly what they are. Anyway, the enemy units have decided to hide back on their one campus, effectively the town square, which is fine, that's completely okay. Just means we need to use some creative mechanics to actually win this battle. So we're going to get all the horses through the front gate, we're going to line up our general probably around about here, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of horse archers sit behind him. Now, the main reason why horse archers are so powerful is for one very simple reason. Horse archers can fire whilst moving, meaning they can retreat and shoot at the exact same time, making them very spicy indeed. Anyway, we've got 3 squads of horse archers here and our general's bodyguard of heavy cavalry. Oh dear, they're throwing spears at my general. Okay, general, get out of there. Scythians, do your thing. Right, we've forced them off of the town square, so it's time for us to just run around the city streets, dodging all of this missile fire. So get out of here, my friends. You can move and shoot, they can't, so use that to your advantage. Come on, go horsies, go! Ride like the wind, horsies! Okay, we're currently taking most of their army on a merry goose chase around the city streets at high speed. We will cause ourselves a few traffic jams, which is okay. We can live with a few traffic jams. Meanwhile, whilst they're chasing us, we can just use this other set of cavalry to just take the town square, and that is going to force them to immediately fall back. It's a bit messy, but this fight is going very well. As you can see, as these horses run past, they're also able to do damage to these units. Oh my goodness, this is such a silly fight. Okay, we're still being chased down by the general's bodyguard here, but should be fine. We're taking them on a lovely merry goose chase, and I think we found a way to flank our enemies in the back. Okay, horsey boys, go! Shoot that general. There we go. Just going round this corner, and he'll follow us round this corner, and then he'll follow us all the way down this entire street, whilst we shoot him whilst running in the opposite direction. It really is that simple. We just run this way, he's slower than us, and we shoot him whilst we retreat. It is a perfectly balanced way of fighting, trust me, ladies and gentlemen. Very fair, very, very fair. This is heavily armored general's bodyguards. Normally an absolute nightmare to murder, but no, not today, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got a lot of arrows. Alright, you know, War Chief, charge into him. Finish this guy off. He's probably got basically no health. Murder the general. There we go. The enemy general's dead. Lovely stuff. And I think that's a win. Right, we should be able to break them with just a quick charge from our general. Might get an occasional hit of friendly fire, but It'll be worth it. Right, there we go. Kill them. Break them. There we go. They are now very sad. There we go. We clearly won the battle. Well, they managed to kill 8 men and we inflicted 2 friendly fire casualties. So overall, only 10 people lost. I'd say that was well worth it for a city. And there we go. That settlement's now ours. We're going to enslave it and send the population all over our empire. There we go. Just to improve a little bit of everything. At the same time, in Campus Scythia, we're going to start training up a few peasants because they're going to make up the main garrisoning force of our empire. And we're also going to want to build a mix of traders and land clearance in most of our cities because the more population will allow for us to gain more money via trading. And trust me, our economy otherwise is going to be pretty pathetic. But there we have it. That's our first settlement. And now our adventures are only going to continue. Now here's the thing. Our army basically needs to immediately get moving again out of Zapotes. So I'm going to send this army marching on down south as well as this army to follow it up, although we could actually use some mercenaries. If we can send 1 unit of peasants over from the capital and just drop the capital down to a high tax rate. There we go. That'll solve our problems temporarily. Right, and let's make our way down south. If we take this settlement, we knock Thrace out of the game, although I think from the looks of things there is a chance they might have captured Byzantium already, although I would be surprised because that is held by a large quantity of rebels. Otherwise, the rest of our empire is looking relatively okay. It's not immediately rebelling, which is always a good sign. Now, it looks like their city is basically only defended by their new factionaire after the last factionaire died, and a large quantity of peltasts, which should mean that this is going to be a complete and utter walk in the park. Anyway, next turn we're going to take down the Thracian capital, and it should be quite a nice walk in the park, really. Right, and now we're just going to besiege this settlement here. There is a chance that they'll actually... Oh my goodness, wait, our spies opened up the gates. Oh, right, well I guess we don't even need to do the siege then. Now, it is defended by a factionaire with a large quantity of heavy cavalry, as well as 2 sets of peltas missile units. However, they're going to all die. Oh, would you look at that? The gates really are just completely wide open. Right, well, let's form up 3 groups of horse archers and get nice and close to the gate. As we can see, there are some peltas here, but the peltas, I'm pretty sure, can't actually hit us for quite a while. They don't have much range, if I remember correctly, whereas we should be able to shoot them from, yep, right here. So here is where the fun begins, as the peltas are going to valiantly defend this gate. However, they just can't survive. Oh, and would you look at that? They're immediately running away. Chase them down, men. Chase them down. Get closer to the walls. Once again, the perks of being able to shoot whilst moving are that you can relocate into a better position and continue to harass. There we go. As they retreat, their numbers are down to 54. Lovely stuff. We're going to now capture this town and move up to this area here, where we should be able to once again absolutely bombard these lovely peltas whilst we walk into the city. And yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because look, we can just shoot over these buildings. These guys can't shoot over the buildings, but we can. Oh yes, and it doesn't matter the fact that you've got a flimsy wooden shield, because we've got a lot of horsey boys. Oh, would you look at that? They're coming over to try and say hi to us. Oh my goodness, look at that. They think they can actually put up a fight. That's incredible. Look at the bravery on them. Well, this is actually a great opportunity just to move up more horse cavalry. And now that they're starting to get close, you know what we do? We just immediately retreat. Get the horsey boys out of there before they can even throw off a volley. No casualties will be taken today, my friends. Oh yes, and now we've got 2 more sets of horses here. Perfect stuff. Rest in peace, peltasts. Well, there we go. That's all of the peltasts dead. So now we just watch as our lovely horse cavalry kind of plink up the general's bodyguard a bit. And the general's bodyguard has a whole bunch of hit points, making it very hard to kill. Anyway, I think it's time for us to engage Operation Super Cheesy Strategy, as what we can do is we can probably force all of these units off of the main point using just one cheeky tactical maneuver. And this cheeky maneuver is one that I like to call standing right here on the other side of a paved road and yeeting arrows into the main square, because the peltas aren't able to fight back. Ah yes, perfectly balanced. Would you just look at this? Now of course the enemy general is going to know that something like this is happening, so the enemy general is trying to relocate so that they can actually fight us. However, that just means we run away, and the enemy general has to try and chase us down, or in the very least he thinks he has to. And we've got even more horse cavalry coming up behind the rear of the enemy general, doing some extra damage, and then we can just run these boys away. Actually, the general does not know which way to go. He's completely conflicted. Oh, these poor men. Oh, the general's trying to chase us down. Well, that's fine. We just run away and shoot whilst running. We lost 1 horsey boy there, maybe 2 horsey boys, I can't tell. But yes, we're out of there. Now the Benny Hill theme can engage as the general's bodyguard unit is going on a absolute wild rampage. Oh, look at this poor general. This guy has absolutely no idea what to do. Meanwhile, we're starting to actually capture the point now and killing these peltasts. All right, round the corner we go again. Oh, the enemy general's dead. Rest in peace. All right, round we go on the Merry Goose Chase. All right, there we go. They're all dead. They killed 7 of us. There were a few friendly fire incidents, but I'd say them killing 7 of us for us killing 200 of them. That feels like a pretty fair trade. Oh god, the horsey boys, they're so memey. Now this is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the Thracians. We've managed to get our spy into the settlement, and guess what? He opened the gates, meaning we can fight a glorious battle. And you know what? We'll do this one in daytime. We just defeated most of the Thracian army, which was in a field battle, because for some reason they decided if they took an army of equal size against horse cavalry, they could defeat it. Lo and behold, they only killed 8 men, and they lost all of their heavy infantry. But yes, I mean, honestly, I don't even know why I bother sending infantry with any of these armies when I can just have a giant fleet of spies run around opening all the doors. Anyway, the settlement should be nice and easy to get into. I'm going to select 3 squads of horse archers and just get them to line up in front of the front door. And then behind those horse archers, I'll have another set of horse archers. And then behind that horse archer, I'll have one more set of horse archers. Everything will be horse archer. Right, and now the shooting can begin. All of these lovely missile cavalry that can't even land a shot. Oh, you poor sausages. You poor sausages. Oh, you're just gonna group up all of the cavalry like that. You know what? Sure, you do you, AI. Now the thing is, these 2 units of militia cavalry here are basically being told by the AI to defend this gate here. However, they can't really defend the gate, because when they stand here, they just get assassinated by arrow fire. There's hardly any of them left. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alright, we're going to do a test maneuver now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move one of our horse archer squads inside of the gate, and this should hopefully trigger the AI to do something. Potentially this is going to get them to try and relocate some infantry over to actually come fight us. Alternatively, nothing will change. Well, this does give us an advantage because there's a whole bunch of militia hoplite spearmen over here who I want to see murdered because they are a threat to horsies. So up come our horsey boys as we're going to say hello to the natural counter of a horse, a very long pointy stick. However, it only counts as a horse that wants to do melee fighting. And who would want to do melee fighting when you can just shoot lightly armored spearmen in the back? Chase them down, don't let them retreat. They're showing their backs to you, which means they're even weaker. Chase them all the way to the town square. Come on, go, 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 go. Yes, good, good. Oh, we just actually ran into the back of them. Don't melee fight. Don't melee fight spearmen. That's bad. That's really bad. Just shoot them like normal. Perfect. That's our advantage. Oh, I think this is the end of the little hoplites. Rest in peace, little hoplites. It looks like they're actually going to send a heavy cavalry bodyguard over to me to actually try and deal with the shenanigans that I'm creating, which is good because, of course, heavy cavalry can't keep up with light cavalry, and also these are Scythian horse archers, some of the fastest light cav in the game. I mean, just look at how well we swarm and can go around corners. Right, there we go. We're running down the alleyway. Yes, perfect. I can see the general. He's one of the 2 remaining guys, and he's dead. There we go. Right, that's one of the generals dead. Just a few more to go. Okay, now we dealt with one of the sets of the hoplites. Over on this gate, we've got 18 random spear throwy boys, so we're just going to stand here and murder them. And then I think we swing up to the northern gate, where once again we've got some more hoplites. But anyway, it's time for these peltas to die before they can throw any of their annoying missiles. We're just going to do a drive-by maneuver here, and there we go. They're all dead. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to have one squad of horse cavalry come up this flank, and another squad come on this flank, and then we're going to see if we can knock out the militia hoplites from both sides. Oh my goodness, the hoplites are moving. The militia hoplites are moving. Right, perfect. This is a great opportunity. Also, it looks like they're marching the remnants of one set of militia hoplites into us, which is also fantastic news. Oh, look at that. They're maintaining a little defensive formation. Oh, and they're running away. Now they're not running away. Can you make up your mind of what you're doing, little militia hoplites? Oh, these poor little militia hoplites. There's just only 4 of them left. Rest in peace, my friends. Rest in peace. You did certainly fight to the last man. It's only a shame you weren't able to actually get any hits in. And meanwhile, how's this set of militia hoplites doing? Well, similar story. There's not too many of them left. They can't quite work out what they want to do. Do they want to fight, or do they want to try and run away and, you know, take this again from a different, better angle? And we'll just pull back a bit, let a few more volleys off. The range on these guys are just absolutely insane. Oh my goodness, these poor little guys. These poor little guys have got the worst job in the world. Oh goodness. Oh, the poor militia hoplites. They're almost in range. Look at that. They're almost there. You've almost done it, guys. Oh, but wait, the horses are just going to turn around and move back. They're broken. They're just standing still like, how could this have happened to us? Oh, there's only 8 of them left. Oh, these poor little guys. These poor little guys. Oh dear, it's just down to Craig and Dave. And now it's just Dave. Oh, Dave. It's okay. Dave believes coffee's better than tea, so he will not be missed. Right, now I'm pretty sure it's basically just generals, bodyguards, and some missile cavalry left. Yep, that's all it is. Right, let's go do what we do best. Ye old Beatty maneuver, but this time from 2 separate angles. Right, we're leading the general's bodyguard on a merry goose chase around the city's outer defenses, and we're keeping him just kind of closely enough that he's going to think that he has a chance of charging us down, but of course in reality he does not. Right, let's just go around this corner. These horse horse archers here are also drawing fire from the militia cavalry, which is perfect. Come on, get around this corner, guys. You know what you need to do. Just keep running away from that general's bodyguard. Just keep weakening him down. We stand on the corner, wait for the general to get close. He's down to just 18 men now. Oh my goodness, this is perfect. Right, and men, unleash a volley into the general. Yes, good, good. Right, now down the corridor. Go, 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 my men, go. Oh dear, there's some horses in front of us. Out the gates, men, out the gates. Exit the city. We're now leaving. Well, we can now sit outside the gates, and the enemy general's never going to step a foot out of his own city. So this is the unreachable position. Oh, and look, the general's bodyguard is actually coming back for another attempt at this. This is the actual commander. He's one of 2 remaining general's bodyguard units. Well, let's just run down the corridor. There we go. It's just the general left now. He's the only guy remaining of this unit, and he's dead. Oh, this is so stupidly overpowered. Right, there's only 1 unit left, and it's a whole bunch of militia cavalry. Well, let's do the old drive-by maneuver. Horses, just run straight past the town plaza, and you horses, you can just run straight down here as well. Just attack them from both sides, really. Ah, the perfect drive-by. Good luck trying to find a counter for this one, AI. And then we just immediately move out of range. Perfect. Oh my goodness, this is such a dumb strategy, and it just works so well. There's only 1 unit left. It's just Craig. It's just Craig, ladies and gentlemen. You know you're having a really bad day at work when you're the final guy remaining in a gigantic siege defense, and so far you've killed hardly any of the enemy. Oh dear, and then also you have to deal with looking at this. It was not a good day for Craig. Well, that's a GG. They did manage to kill 31 men, which is a shame, but of course that was mostly down to my negligence and horse management skills. But with that, the entire Scythian faction is completely and utterly destroyed, and it's got me thinking up a new strategy. What if we got rid of the infantry entirely? Because now that Fraser's gone, we did manage to discover that basically all we needed to break into a city is a spy. So surely if we train enough spies, we can break into just about any city. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Many turns have passed, and I kind of destroyed Dacia and have kind of just sat around waiting for the inevitable to happen. The inevitable being that we actually build our main capital city of Campus Scythia up to the level where we can train mega troops. What kind of mega troops are we talking about, ladies and gentlemen? We're talking about the incredible Scythian noble archers. Now, when you look at them and compare them to regular horse archers, there's not much difference. 1 extra missile attack, some more morale, some more defense, a lot more armor. The biggest difference is that these units of course have decent melee attack, but most importantly, an increased range of 170. But the thing is, a base Scythian noble archer by itself isn't very powerful. 8 missile attack, I'm sorry, but that's, you know, pretty weak, or rather it's pretty standard. However, we've built a blacksmith and a level 3 shrine, consequently meaning our Scythian noble archers are actually using missile attacks of 12. They have an armor of 10, a total defense of 16, and a melee attack of 14. These boys are incredible. Yes, they cost a decent bit more money to actually maintain, but we are fielding an entirely cavalry army. And the thing is, it's going to work, because cavalry armies move faster than armies with infantry in them, meaning that these units are heading down south to deal with some Greeks who have recently just taken Byzantium. The Greek army consists of exactly what you'd expect to completely and utterly counter an army comprised of horse archers. It's a whole bunch of angry spear boys. But we're going to remind this game that no matter how hard they try, everything can be completely and utterly exploited. Oh yes, and one of the Greek armies wants to fight me independently of the other. Perfect. Oh yes, this is going to be one heck of a battle. Say hello to the Greek city's main army led by Captain Xanthiphobos here, some random bloke with no command skill. He is fielding an army of hoplites, peltasts, more hoplites, more peltasts, a couple of missile cavalry, some really heavily armored hoplites, but most importantly, some pathetic normal noodle archers. Now here's the thing, normal archers have the same range as our standard Scythian horse archers. In comparison, our Scythian noble archers are veritable long-range siege batteries. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the battle has started. Dear God, they've started on top of a gigantic hill. Well, that's fine. It's time for us to form up our noble archers into groups. We're going to be moving them around in groups of 4, and then we're going to be having our general and all of the other slightly weaker archers kind of run off to the side, probably over here and to the corner. We don't really want them engaged in this fight, but as you can see, standard range of one of our horsey boys is this much. In comparison, noble archers have incredible range. However, the Greeks do have an advantage because they're sat up on a hill. However, they left a gap in that hill, which we're of course going to exploit. Oh, would you look at that? It looks like some of our first noble archers have their first shot available. So we'll get them to line up here and see what we can do. Oh yes, in comes the fire. Now, as you'll notice, if one of these arrows hits these men, they die instantly. That's because these are much more powerful arrows now. Even against armored hoplites here with shields and decent decent defensive statistics, you'll notice they're starting to melt a bit like butter. But the thing is, the AI doesn't really know how to deal with an enemy that has this much of a ranged advantage, so it's deployed all of their men into a slow-moving formation, and, well, lo and behold, they're just going to kind of limp towards our front line whilst they get shot in the flanks. Yep, it's not going to go very well for them. Right, we're going to send one set of the nobles around the flank to just really throw them off, and we're going to start pulling back on this main front flank. Yes, now that we have a shot in the side of these hoplites, this is where the fun can begin, because as soon as we break up their formation, all of their defensive stats go away, as these boys are only armored as long as you face the front of them. And now it looks like we've just opened up a flank so that all of my men can run up the hill. And if we have the hill advantage on our side, oh yes, well, the damage from our shots just increases tenfold. Oh, I love having not only a height but also a ranged advantage. It's completely and utterly balanced. We can sit out of range like an attack helicopter and just plink away on their lovely shields, and eventually these heavily armored hoplites of death with a total defense of 22 will fall. Anyway, these poor hoplites decided to show their backs to us, so they all die. Nice and simple, really. See, they have all of these ranged units here. Like, look at this. We've got some archers, we've got some peltasts, but the issue is they can't really attack us because they just don't have the range. And now they also don't have the hill. Oh dear. Well, that's one set of heavily armored hoplites, some of the most expensive units in the game. They've just died. Meanwhile, it looks like the AI is sending more lovely hoplites towards us up this hill, which, as we know, is going to end very poorly for them. It would appear the AI is now completely reforming their entire army to try and box us in, which is not going to work because we're just going to get around their flanks and shoot them in the rear. Just like so. There you go. Shots to the rear, and the armored hoplites don't really know what to do. Alright, there we go. We're dealing with this horse cavalry nice and easily. If a shot lands, a horsey dies. It really is as simple as that. Oh, such a shame for you to only have a total defense of 6. Imagine how difficult life must be. Well, it looks like the enemy general unit's about to go down, and there we go. Here's the enemy general. Bet he's slightly regretting his decision to stand and fight against us. Rest in peace, old Generalissimo. Their poor army is now having to try and push up the hill towards us into sustained arrow fire, which is, of course, not going particularly well for them at the moment. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's just an endless stream of death into heavily armored hoplites. Oh, these poor armored hoplites. These units are so expensive, and they're just being absolutely cyberbullied. Look at this. These are effectively incredible Spartans. Some of the greatest Greek warriors known to man, but no, they died to arrow fire just as good as anyone else does. Well, I'd say overall this has gone exceedingly well for everyone involved, excluding the Greeks, of course. Certainly not gone very well for them. And, well, there we go. We've clearly won the battle. They successfully managed to kill 28 men. We killed 1,332. Oh god, horses are so broken. It's unfair. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is how to build the Scythian death stack. You kind of expand out knockout thrace early, wipe out the Dacians, and then power level your capital until you have a high quality blacksmith that gives you armor and increased missile weapons, as well as also a shrine that gives you an insane amount of experience recruited to troops. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. If you give this challenge a go yourself, make sure to send me some lovely screenshots on Twitter. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a like, and hey, hop on down into the description and pledge your undying love to flying helicopter horses of death. As always, a massive thank you to each and every one of our majestic patrons who make these fantastic videos all the more possible. Seriously, thank you very much, you lovely sausages. And if you're wondering what video to watch next, look no further than this one on screen now. It's perfectly balanced, trust me. Anyway, I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Have an absolutely lovely day, and goodbye for now.